Okay, so up until this point, we've been drawing walls and placing them where we want. And if we do all the walls continuously, then we get our nice perimeter of walls. Sometimes we're going to want to change them. Sometimes we're going to want, now we got to add our interior walls, right? So if I use my wall tool and I draw a wall and I double click and end it on an existing wall, or just single click, it does this automatic wall join. Okay, so that it neatly joins up the walls. Sometimes though, we might draw a wall and it hasn't joined. I can select that wall, grab it from its object handle, drag it to the wall, and it also joins it. So I can join it in drawing, I can join it in extending the wall. There's also a wall join tool. So just under the wall tool is a wall join tool, or option J. In selecting the wall join tool, I can see that there's different modes. I can join at a T, I can join at an L, and I can join at an X. So here, for instance, I'm doing a T join, so I make sure that that one's selected. As I hover over the wall, it highlights in red. I click, and there's this little dash line, and I go over to the wall that I want to join to, and again, that one highlights, saying this is the wall you want to join to, right? And I click, and it automatically joins those walls. Now, for instance, if I moved this wall or made some changes and it didn't join anymore, I could also go to my wall join. This time I'm going to an L join mode, hover over the wall, one wall, click and select, hover over the other, click and select, and it joins it nicely. If I was you don't want to do that, do you? If I did, now if I'm drawing an interior wall, for instance, and these walls cross, I can see that they cross, but it's not shown very nicely. That's not, and it doesn't actually represent kind of how it is. So I can go into my wall join, I can select my X join mode, again, highlighted wall to highlighted wall, and you can see how neat and tidy that cleans that up. Now, what I have to be aware of, it actually splits that wall in two and splits and keeps that one a full length. So there's T join, there's L join, there's X join. Now that's all using the wall join tool. Now there's also a join command. So a lot of the times we'll have walls that aren't joined and we want to join them at a miter, we want to do an L join. I can select both walls. So in this case I have one wall, I hit shift, select the other walls. It says up in my object info palette that I have two walls, and I can just go Command J and it joins them as well. You can see when I did so, it highlighted this modify, because if I go under this modify menu, there's join and this join command, which is Command J. Now, remember, using our walls, I can, after I've created, I don't want to have to redraw them. I can just move them if I need to. I want to make sure that my connected wall mode is enabled, and in doing so, I can move the walls and it maintains those joins. Okay, now we're using the object info palette to change the length of the wall, or length of our lines. It has all those coordinates and data fields to do that. That doesn't work for how we want to use walls. So if I select this wall, I can see that those object handles, they aren't actually at the points of reference for where we measure walls. So in this case, we measure our exterior walls outside to outside. We measure our exterior to interior, outside to center line, our interior walls from center line to center line. So this is the center line, but it's not at the end. So right now you can just use your line tool. So you can use your line tool to measure a length of wall. So this is 41 something. And you can also, what I can also do, I'll use a line tool to set up placement markers. So if I say I want this to be, I'm going to Command D, Command M, I'm going to move this, I want my wall, that length of wall to be 42 feet, nice clean measurement, and hit OK. There I have my line, and I can just grab my edge of my wall and drag it over to my line. Or say if I wanted to place the wall, I can duplicate move, and I want to do minus 12 feet. Now I go to my wall tool, and I can draw. If I'm doing center to center, I want to make sure I'm using my center control line mode. So I hit U and toggle, and I can see that I can align that wall on that line that I used as a reference point. And then I can go, oh, I'm just going to do a wall join. I want to use my T-join, so I can click around. So you can place all those walls and then join them after.